having a little bit too much fun.
Yeah.
Aren't you, Rusty?
Look, it's great.
Well, we are into game 4 now as we go into Champs League for our draft. And the bands are looking nice and similar. LGD, of course, on the red side here, Vici over on the blue. But Yasuo Kog'Maw are the bands again as Gragas Azir. We're going to keep it basically the same.
Vici banning Kog'Maw and Kalista.
There's the Kalista ban.
Really important, but of course Ryze is still going to be available. So LGD, they've got one ban remaining. The current bans are still very good, of course, taking World 6 from his best champion. Making sure that Pong doesn't have his best champion respectively. But again, the big issue of the drafting that LGD are putting into effect right now is they're target banning on red side and leaving open a lot of strong champions.
I'm curious to see if LGD do ban Ryze here. Do Vici maybe just take Victor? They actually ban Victor instead. So Dandy
Ryze
might just be thinking, yep,
what?
Liked it in game 2. Going to take it again in game number 4. This is how Vici won the last game.
But Vici haven't even shown a preference towards first picking the Victor.
Yeah.
Like, they've shown a preference towards many other champions. They went for the Braum, they want the Thresh. Other things that they prioritize highly over that Victor, and instead, I mean, they just first pick a Ryze now. It's a silver platter of a pick, and there are a lot of ways to deal with it, to be fair. LGD, they got ahead early. They could have snowballed that game out. That was just mistakes in terms of team fighting and decision making.
I mean, LGD, they lost it in game 2. They have to have a plan this time. And they start things off with Vayne and Lulu. Important to note, Acorn is still in the lineup. So if they have that flex option with the Lulu again, they can play it there. Lulu's a great early pick champion whenever she's in meta. We'll see her picked up soon. But I like this takeaway by Imp as well, saying, hey, Schwan, play a different carry. I've seen you Vayne a couple times. Let me show you how it's done.
Going to show him the ropes on that Vayne, but he's got the Lulu to boot, as you mentioned, possibly that flex pick because Akon didn't get subbed out, which is a change up here from this LGD side. I'd love that from Vici, but it's not assumed that's happening yet. And of course, they got the Lulu this time. It was banned from them in game 2 after that game 1 performance, so Godvy's still able to play that champion.
He is. So we'll see where LGD wants to put it, but 10 seconds left here for Vici. They were hovering the Rex. I wouldn't mind the takeaway from TBQ. But Vici might just stick with a little more of what they know. 3 seconds left to lock this in. They lock in the Janna. That's going to be Marta's champion. And it is Echo for the first time in the series here for World 6.
Yeah, picking up that Echo, of course, has had a lot of success on Echo. Has played it to a great degree of skill, which is really good to see because there was always questions around his champion pool and the limitations of what he can actually play. So changing it up a little bit more, has got that Echo to boot. The response from LGD right now, you would assume, will be that top laner in the jungle. Or they could flex.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. They do have flexibility.
But they're still going to reveal it with this hand because they're not going to be able to basically just pick other things.
I mean,
like it's going to be revealed.
You can't flex 3 more lanes.
Jungle support. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to counter pick mid lane, but they do have the option of giving it to Godby if they want to. So Vici going to have to show them something here. They've already seen the Ryze, I guess, so LGD might just be happy with the Lulu Ryze matchup if that's what they want. But LGD considering their last few picks, 4 seconds left now in this particular draft. They lock in the Rex. I like that choice a lot from TBQ. And PYL is going to get back on Alistar.
Yeah, going back to the Alistar.
Vici are great.
They do this every time. Even the Rek'Sai hover was like a small one to TBQ, so they just keep continuing their pestering of LGD. Doesn't really work. I can't say it's worked for them yet, but it's good to know that they're still in high hopes, all things considered.
All the small edges matter. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Trying to get a slight psychological edge there. Vici have won a game. Certainly capable of doing it again as Corki is the lock-in here for Schwan. Nice and aggressive into that Vayne.
Corki Janna is a very good lane. Of course, Vayne actually does quite well into that. The Phosphorus Bomb is very easy to dodge out of with the tumble. So, I mean, having an Alistar Vayne, though, indicates, again, a lane swap to me. LGD probably the team to put it into effect. I would be very surprised if they took the 2 versus 2 Janna, just superior with the Corki in that respect. And they're also denying the Ryze by doing so.
There's Orianna again here from Huang. It's certainly been a second string for him. He's fine on it, but it's not the same impact as his Azir or his Victor, so Godvy's going to get a counter matchup. I assume that's what he wants here.
I wouldn't even be surprised if they just lock in, say, a Gnar or a Hecarim and just do the exact same thing they did in Game 2, but just execute better. Because really, like we've seen this mid matchup, the Lulu Orianna. Godvy did work.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
Or they'll go Diana, as this is like complete shot in the dark here because he's got teleport.
Oh, that's true. What's the other big TP champ? Twisted Fate, I guess?
Being a detective right now.
Detective Rusty on the case. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're a genius. He does go Diana.
Look, I mean, I do it for a job.
True. Well,
not bad.
Turns out Rusty was right. The detective work has paid off here. And Godvi on a specialist champion of his, Diana.
Yeah. And it's against the Orianna, which is one of the bigger things, is that it's actually a really good laning phase for the Diana. Orianna has the lowest base AD out of every champion that is ranged in League of Legends. It's a fun fact. Atlas said it wrong earlier. He said it was Morgana, so thought I'd set the record straight.
Passive going to help out, but maybe not enough here. Diana is a tricky champion to navigate against 1v1, and Godvi's Diana, he does not mess around. There are a couple of champions, like he's good at almost every champion. I would say probably every champion. But there are some champions that he's just a little bit better on. And Diana's certainly a kind of a throwback here for Godvi.
Yeah, it's like when you look to Jie as the Diana player. Godvi's the exact same. He's got that Yasuo, he's got the Diana you can fall back to and seriously carry his team. And in a clutch moment,
yep,
sounds good.
LGD can win the series here, but Dandy's back on Rise. He's another big carry for his team as Akon's on Lulu once more here. World 6 going to go to Echo this time as TVQ going to play his third Rek'Sai game of the series.
Yeah, he's found a lot of success on that as we move towards the middle lane. Godvi bringing out that Diana with the teleport up against Pong, the standard control mage Orianna that he loves.
Could be in trouble if he gets jumped on though, as Schwan there on Corki versus Imp's Bane this time. See Imp probably have a big game, or at least try to, as Mata and PYL face off once more. It is Alistar for PYL and Janna back for Mata. We talk about this a bit. Mata not being on a playmaking champion can cost them.
Yeah, and again, this bottom lane, though, seemingly wants to lane swap from LGD. They've got the Vayne and the Alistar, who level 1 Alistar are actually quite weak. So we'll see what they want to do.
We will indeed. It's time for game number 4. And here we are. It's game 4 between LGD and Vici. LGD are on match point here. They can win the set if they can win this game, but they must win on red side. It's been eluding both teams so far, and they've also got to navigate Dandy's Rise, but LGD have put together a comp that just suits them so well.
Certainly does, of course. Being one game up in a best-of-5 series with one game until you actually are victorious doesn't surprise me that they will go to Comfort Champions and play their own style, because it has been working for them so far. They seem to have the number of Vici Gaming in the early and mid-game stages. The real question is, do they want to take it late?
I guess we'll find out soon. We're going to have a fan out, though, at level 1 here, so just some neutral vision being acquired for both teams. And we might have standard lanes for the first time, I believe, in the series, but
maybe.
Pretty sure every game has had a lane swap, and I'm pretty sure LGD don't want the 2v2 this time.
They'd be okay with the 2v2. Corki just has a lot of auto-attack prowess, but in saying that, Vici are actually the ones looking for the lane swap. They just spotted the Lulu, and they instantly recalled and went top lane. So speaking of teams that want the 1v2, it's all Vici.
And Imp's actually going towards the other side of the map.
Yeah, it's been predicted.
They might actually opt into the 2v2 now. Akon's got a ward down in the lane. Can they get a bit of extra vision?
Oh, we're getting Australian lanes.
Uh-oh. Upside down town. It is going to be here. Krug start there for LGD. Grump for Vici. Maybe just the Sentinels instead. In fact, Impoyel is going to skip those Krugs. Going straight to the top side. They will be spotted, but it's too late for Vici.
Yeah, you can see the blue Sentinels are being done as they, for some reason, attack the big one as well in between there. But they're going to go to their lane with a slight experience advantage, you would assume. Imp actually hard pushing and very smartly hitting the ranged minions first, because that will be the big damage source out of the minions and the hardest ones to hit once Corki comes into this lane, as you can see.
Oh my.
This is why I was surprised they wanted the 2 versus 2, and you can see why now.
Yep, Imp just takes...
Like, he pretty much wants the recall already.
Casual 25% health. Going to have to get a lot of Alistar Roars to heal back up, and they're actually going to recall. They're done. Lane's done, boys. Get out.
Not sure what they were trying to achieve by getting standard lanes, but from what we can see, the answer was not a whole lot, as they are going to go back to bottom now. Lulu, you would imagine, will recall and teleport to the top lane. But Janna's already gone, so they're aware that it's happening.
Yep. And again, smart early game for Vici. LGD definitely matched them in game 1, but Vici seemed to have the early games locked down in his last few games. It's no different here in game 4. Imp has been a big player for these teams. When he falls behind, we saw it a bit in Game 2. Not nearly as good there for the team. So can Imp recover from a pretty awful start, honestly?
Well, yeah, things could have been a lot better for him. There's a lot of freeze has taken place here from Xuan, sitting in that top lane, and Imp was all too happy then to provide the freeze for him before recalling and saying, well, good luck, Acorn. This is your lane now, mate. I'm going to go farm some minions 1v2.
Well, we'll see how Acorn does. Probably not too happy about the situation. Well, into mid lane now, we see Pwong versus Godby for the 4th time in the series, and Godby has certainly had the Vici mid laner's number every time they've fought so far.
Yeah, definitely been favoring Godby, and of course, Diana into Orianna actually favors Orianna to a degree this early. It's the level 6 where you have to start wondering how it's going to go. And TBQ pushing World 6 out of his own jungle.
Getting aggressive there, actually, as Dandy gets headbutted out. Marta's back down to the bottom side of the map. But a good damage there onto Imp's Vayne. Going to try and keep it down as long as possible. It's 8-21 CS for the record right now. That is a big lead for Xuan as TBQ comes to the top lane, but a bit of a misfire as Acorn takes a big chunk of damage.
This was a necessity for this LGD side. They're breaking the freeze that Corki had in place. So damage aside, they still have the teleport for Acorn if need be, but he actually has enough health from those health pots. And now the freeze is broken, and it's a 1 versus 1. Well, it's going to be 1 versus 2. As they're actually going again on that top lane.
TBQ still here.
He's real low.
Corki, yeah, getting low. No summon is actually expended by LGD, so the harass is nice.
And this is great because now Vayne's actually, well, we assume so, able to farm under this turret and get a lot of last hits. Catch up a little bit to this Corki, who has now been pushed out of the lane in a 1 versus 1 scenario against the Lulu.
Godby going to do some jungling. Only gets the small ones, though. Pwong is going to force him away, but he's pushing minions into the turret. Godby once again having control of this mid lane matchup. He's already up 10 CS.
Doing very well, Godby, actually. The closer he gets to 6, the better he will be in laning phase, let alone being able to roam around the map. He's already got a recall in, so the fact that he's 10 CS ahead, doing work.
Look at Marta.
He doesn't care.
He's matching the levels. He's more than happy to harass Imp out here. Going to run out of the Silver Bolts proc as well.
So that trade was favorable for Marta.
Xuan's back down as well. Got his parts of a phage, and Imp has to leave. He's like, yep, don't really fancy this lane. Acorn.
Imp says no.
Acorn not going to get the swap, though. Imp's just going back for health. Maybe a Vamp Scepter as well.
No, he's actually not.
Sells his pots.
He's staying.
Okay. Going to chew his pots.
Didn't sell a pot, he chewed it.
Do you chew potions?
Well, it's not a biscuit, I guess.
That's true.
He chugged the potion.
Spelled it real quick.
That's weird because it's like...
It is weird.
Over time effect.
I also don't know how, like...
Sip it?
Yeah, I guess.
Sip the potion.
Anyway. Sorry, I was trying to think like how the potions become biscuits, but I guess the answer is wizardry.
Yeah,
which is
the same way that we have a bull that can walk on 2 legs and be super golden.
Oh, and wow. Ulti people apparently, or at least combo them.
What was that?
Xuan does get knocked out by the pulverize. TBQ now wants a Marta. Marta, a little bit out of position, forced to flash out Nymph. He's taking too much damage. Vici will turn that around.
I'm not entirely sure what the interaction between the headbutt was there with Corki, but he didn't move at all when the headbutt was used. So he stood perfectly still. TBQ could not find the follow-up to that engage, essentially. That was really unlucky, though, from LGD, because they played that well. TBQ has control of all of the jungle area on his side of the map, even controlling World 6 to a degree, who is looking threatening. The shockwave's up. This is a deadly gank if it works.
Yeah, Echo's mid lane ganks are pretty good. And Godby might just get aggressive. He does, but going to see the parallax conversions. Not going to want it now. We'll wait things out here. Going to clear out some creeps.
Fantastic control from Godby to not actually press that R key, because it's ever so tempting. But she was standing in a position here, Pwong, where it was kind of obvious. Temptation sometimes gets the better of you.
It does. A little hard to go all in with Ignite, so Godby restrains himself this time. Maybe looks for a gank. Trends towards top lane, but going to come back to mid now, and again, decent lead in the matchup. Godby starting to take over. How much better does this matchup get at 6, or is it still kind of even?
The only reason it gets better for Godby is because you have that all-in threat from there on out, but you still lack in a bit of mana sustain. Once you get the blue buff, you're perfectly fine. And the shockwave can still threaten ganks. with the Echo, because between an Echo and Orianna, the synergy is not directly there, but it is very there if they connect.
Yeah, can certainly line that up. So blue buff does go to Godby by the looks of things. As Imp is back in the bottom lane now with his components for that Bilge Water. Doesn't quite have the completed item. Mother going to take a little bit of trade damage, but Shuang returns and he's got that Phage. More than happy to fight 2v2.
Yeah, and Shuang just needs to hit a Phosphorus Bomb and an auto attack. You have an Eye of the Storm from Janna, and honestly, Imp cannot lane. They picked themselves into losing lanes, and now they're laning.
Ooh, Dandy, good snare, but he gets knocked up by Wild Growth. Knock up there for TBQ as Dandy just manages to flash out.
Dandy does well to get out there with his life. Lulu, Wild Growth knock up, very smart play there whilst he was rooted down. So didn't get him in the end. Still played it well. They forced some ultimates out of LGD for their troubles, but bot lane's still dangerous.
Imp is so aggressive, but that's too aggressive. PYL gonna get the pulverize, but Imp has to back off.
And say what you want about having the Vamp Scepter for sustain. You're not going to sustain through that much burst, as we've got a consistent Gatling gun Corky right now. Oh no. Well,
Godby in the mid lane has gone back. Used his teleport again for that recall, and has actually gone a quick stinger here. Might be Nash's first.
What, fighting again?
Akon now getting fought as well. World 6 dives in, and that first blood for Echo.
Finding the first blood onto that Lulu, giving it over to the Echo. Unfortunately, Dandy didn't connect. Still scaling very well. Dandy and Acorn in a solo lane right now, and this favors the Ryze. You have to question. They've given the Ryze over, and he's putting in work already.
And after that gank from TBQ, smart from World 6 to rotate up there, and first blood does go to that jungler. And VT again, bit of an early game hold here. Looking good in standard lanes for, again, I think the first time this matchup.
And it feels like it's going to come down to the Godby show again. This should not really be happening. Vayne's still going to be relevant late game. They're still going to have that Rek'Sai to put in work for the ganks and engages and being that real engage tool for his team. PYL is always going to be tanky, and that's the beauty of the actual team comp that LGD have put in place. But Dandy's going to make up for that late game scaling. Hong's going to do a lot of damage late game, and Xuan, though he'll drop off in terms of his damage, he's got Dandy to back him.
Yeah.
Like, that team comp is really scary, and they've been out team fighting LGD.
They have certainly in games where they've been ahead.
Yeah.
LGD have sort of won by keeping it even, then taking over mid game. But they're going to fall behind here by a couple of gold, and Dandy's just going to kill Acorn almost, forced to pop the ulti. And World 6 can just come again. He might even dive now.
Yeah, look, Ryze pretty good.
Yeah, Ryze real good. I don't know why they gave him Ryze again.
Still don't know. They banned Victor over Ryze, and you can pick Kassadin for Godby into the Victor and be perfectly fine. It's a 50% win rate between those two in a matchup in the LPL.
I mean, Godby has that matchup like on download as well. He would have played it so many times.
Yeah, it's on speed dial.
So LGD, instead going to take the Dragon. Smart with World 6 towards the top lane. I believe a ward spotted him. They're going to try and take an advantage for themselves here, but VTR collapsing. LGD get the Dragon, but can they get out safely? Looks like this time they will.
They do have the Scuttle Crab to speed them out, that effective Shirelia's boost. They do get the first Dragon, but they do have the terrain advantage to secure that Dragon. A lot of focus from Echo on the top side of the map at the moment. So very smart from LGD to recognize that fact, immediately go for the Dragon. That's not the real issue, though. They need to start making things happen, getting some gold onto carries.
And it's Godby again. He's got a CS lead here, but hasn't been able to roam around, unlock himself, really get some damage done. Akon still farming up, catching up to this ride. Now going to go in. The Shockwave flashed out by Godby. PYL's here as well, but he'll follow Flash there as well. Headbutt's going to come into the knockup. Godby will swoop in, and he'll claim the kill. No, it's TBQ. Takes it for himself.
The numbers advantage, the pump fake essentially from Godby, where he went in, backed off, and flashed the Shockwave. Looked like he was going to disengage, but immediately the flash from PYL, they secure the target. Basically womboed into the knockup from a Rek'Sai. And this team, they have found a moment. They've got an attack speed based Diana with TBQ in the middle lane. Turret's looking like it's going to fall, but Echo's here.
Diana melts turrets there as well. 6 looking for the stun. Will find it.
No.
Barely misses, actually, as he gets the speed up from the passive. Teleport's going to come down now. It's Akon that's swooping in to help his team. He'll come in to protect him, but he's wasted that cooldown now.
Icon did make his way in to make sure they stayed alive, but he's going to lose a lot of pressure as the minions push onto that top turret. I was going to say he's walking towards the tri-bush, but very smartly avoids that one.
Learned his lesson,
There could be a dangerous man in that bush. You don't want that.
And 20 CS behind for Akon. Imp just caught up. He's going to fall back behind as Xuan takes his creep, but he was 20 CS behind as well. And it's Godby again in a game where LGD are down. Godby has a good lead here in this lane. It's not the 5-2 Cassidy or whatever it was to start things off in game 2, but 0-0-1 on Diana with the Nashers completed and a CS lead. If it's going to happen for Godby, it might be this game.
You know what's funny about these teams? The only real concern is going to be that bottom lane, and if Vayne can do anything, but will always scale. So the actual interesting part is that the winning lanes are the carry lanes, and the losing lanes from each respective team are the utility control majors. So Lulu losing top lane to Rise, still going to be relevant, has the wild growth available. And in mid lane, Diana's doing well. Godby's starting to be a big carry for his team, but Oriana's always got that shockwave.
2v2 now on the top lane actually as TBQ going to swoop his way in, gets stopped by Echo and Rise though as Dandy has that snare ready. Imp now trying to 1v1, but he is going to get it. Overstay there from the Corki as Imp gets a free kill.
Yeah, definitely overstayed. Corki's itemization choices right now do not indicate being able to fight in a 1 versus 1 scenario. Ooh. Well done from Mod6. You're going to get the Gromp?
Big phase dive.
Nailed it.
Onto the Gromp after got headbutted. That would be hilarious.
I'm not sure what he did specifically after it, but he phase dived over the wall.
Well, managed to get out at least.
Sorry, over the wall.
I'll have to keep that one in mind for later, but does get away. Invade not successful there from PWL, but he's starting to roam a bit more. Imp is almost at Blade of the Ruin King and got the 1v1 there onto Xuan. Probably pretty comfy sitting in that lane. He'll catch up on CS. That's the most crucial thing for LGD's AD carry.
Yeah, definitely is going to be. And getting that solo kill as well, a lot of solo experience for this Vayne. Starting to scale up in terms of itemization choices. We'll have that Blade soon. And he's getting a lot of solo levels. So, yeah, definitely has enough for it. Probably wanting boots, I would imagine, with it, which is why he is staying.
Good tumble. No ult though, so Imp probably can't think about a tower dive. And Imp's level 10. Again, PWL leaving. Give him extra levels.
Yeah, and this is LGD to a T. Dandy.
Getting ganked in the top lane. TBQ's going to try and make it happen. Akon with a knock-up. TBQ going to try and secure it. Needs the Praise Seeker, but the red buff's enough.
Red buff secures that kill. Acorn using the ultimate to ensure he stays alive, but you can see the damage that Dandy is doing with only mana items. That is only going to get scarier from here.
And there's the Rod of Ages for Dandy. Going to start scaling up now. Got it at a nice good time around the 15-minute mark.
I mean, we saw how much damage he did to Acorn with just the Catalyst. Doesn't get any better here for this Lulu.
Certainly not, but it's gotten a bit better here for Imp. He's getting ganked. It'll tumble out to safety. And Schwann's pushing things in, but Imp's just happy to take him on. He is so strong right now. Schwann's dead again. Gets condemned out of the Valk, and he's dead 1v1.
Imp completely outplaying him right there, condemning him into the wall as the Valkyrie was used to try and get to safety. And this Imp, oh my god, this Vayne is massive.
I think there was a predictive condemn as well as Acorn even gets the tower. 2-0 now for Imp. We thought it was Godby that was going to make the plays. He's also got a tower down. So gold is coming through now for LGD, but Imp, that's two different outplays. That's cost Xuan his life.
Yeah, and suddenly the balance has been completely tipped because we were looking at this team and Imp was going to be the big question mark. The Corki Janna lane was overwhelmingly strong, but PYL roaming has brought Marta along. And this is the question you always raise. Vici, they've lost all of their games with the Janna. They need that proactive, engage, and initiation style of support so he can make the shots and actually enact the shots immediately, but he's on a passive style of support. The rest of LGD able to capitalize on this.
Dandy's teleported in.
Oh, man.
It's a huge flank around the backside. Can they do it 2v3? Condemn out there.
Has no ult.
Imp knows they have trouble. Yeah, Imp's going to struggle here against Dandy. Gets absolutely evaporated as Xuan's going to get some revenge.
Yeah,
Chase. Yeah, Chase on the PYL. Ulti's out there from him, but he's going to get snared up and will die there to World 6. Vici get two very nice kills and Dragon's up in 5 seconds.
Dandy unfortunately not finding a kill again for himself. The hero in this situation has not been given any of the resources, but yes, the Dragon is available. Meanwhile in that top lane though, teleport not available. Lulu has committed to the push, so we'll see how they go around this Dragon because Rise has had to go top.
Yeah, it's actually 2v3.
Yeah, this could work.
Acorn's pretty strong. TBQ can at least entertain a steal.
Godby can kill Xuan.
Yeah, Godby's massive. Got the Negatron Cloak and the Stalk Shoes as well. Good W. TBQ snipes it though. not going to get stunned. Godby might think about turning it around. They'll get the tornado down. They'll have to rush in. The exhaust on a TBQ might be a mistake, but he gets monstered back in. Ooh. Huge ulti back now as the knockup comes in onto Schwan, and PYL's back. The shockwave is there. Finds onto 2 as Schwan gets hit again, and Imp's going to come in for the cleanup. World 6 going to die. Imp, if he has his flash, he's going to use it. Goes over there to Pwong. Going to pick up another kill on LGD. Huge fight.
And Godby immediately teleporting to flank the Corki as well. Everything's just going so well for this side. Look how happy he is. He doesn't care. Here comes the dive.
Oh, PYL now in trouble. Godby going to dive in, and that is a dead Corki.
And that is the epitome of evaporated, as you said earlier. This LGD side, Godby destroys Mata. They force him over the wall. This is exactly where they engage here. It's TBQ and Godby. They work on their strengths. Just kidding, they're fighting.
Too much fighting going on. Danny trying to go 1v3 is going to get killed as Godby picks up his third.
And that feels like a desperation play from Dandy right there. They had no right actually trying to fight. They didn't have his teleport, so he walked past wards, you would imagine, to get to that area. Completely telegraphed, and a big mistake from Dandy. Vici now crumbling. LG looking really good though, and they need one more win.
They do, and they're looking to get it here potentially. 5k up at 19 minutes or so. Vici Gaming have thrown in the towel twice in this spot.
Yeah, all I really want is no more surrenders.
Don't think that's happening this time. But LGD got such a surge of strength. And again, the talent of their laners. Like, sure, Acorn's been in an island, just kind of managing things, trying to keep up in farm, because Dandy went pretty crazy. But it's got to be an Imp especially on this Vayne.
Yeah, you know, whilst a lot of the decision making has been really good for this LGD side, their movements around the map have been top notch. It does come down to, if you had to compare every individual member of Vici, they are just seemingly outclassed right now from this LGD side, and that is actually what has been the determining factor between these teams.
Completely agree. It's been great to watch LGD in almost top-looking form here. They threatened EDG in the last playoffs. Might be thinking to do it again. Godby gonna go in. Can't really do anything though. Does get killed.
It's almost like Godby syndrome. The rest of LGD here, they've got a flank. I don't know if they want to fight that though. Very risky.
It's 4v5. Vici probably want to fight.
Imp wants to fight.
They have their ultimates. Of course Imp wants to fight.
He doesn't have flash though.
TBQ gonna get slowed.
He still wants
Ooh, maybe cut off here. Dandy with a good movement. Gonna use the ulti. TBQ does get snared. He completes the tunnel, but he's pretty tanky. He gets out safely.
Manages to get out. Oh, just kidding. He wants to go back in and take damage. Looking for it, but Vici do not find. They do get Godby though. Suffering from Godby syndrome. Trying to 1v5 the opposition. Caught out of position essentially.
To his credit, he's done that a number of times.
Well, he has.
Succeeded.
Yeah, I know.
But that was probably a bridge too far. They're going to lose the tower here as well. And LGD going to try and force something. They found Dandy. Ball down onto him though. It's quite tanky. Pops his ulti as well for a shield. Whoa, what's going on here? PYL turning into the backlines as Imp wants to kill. He's looking for World 6. Might find Schwan. Now the passive is proc. World 6 can't do anything.
Oh my god,
and he's popped his heal. Imp's gone full Imp. He's going to go into the tower. Dives in. There gets Wild Growth. And LGD are just hunting them down.
This team comp from LGD is basically irrelevant because every individual member is just going ham. They do not care. Imp diving the turrets, has Lulu to protect him. Dandy.
Oh, that's the kill they want. Imp needs to condemn. He gets exhausted. The bolts are down, but it's not quite enough. Imp wants it again. Good shockwave, but it's not enough damage. Dandy has to keep running. TBQ is low now. He might have to back off as Godby gets a reset onto the wave.
They are looking so threatening.
God, he's going again! Pwong almost gonna die. PYL, huge double knockup there. Dandy the next target. PYL's gonna die, but Dandy will go down as well.
That damage was disgusting right there from God, but he just destroyed Pong.
Imp's not done. He's going in onto World 6 to get the tower. Going back in again. Now Schwan's here. Chrono breaks good. Deals damage onto him. Is enough damage there as Schwan. He gets the kill, but Godby's gonna dive back in. Schwan can't do it. Too much damage.
The carries from LGD. They are just something else right now.
They really are.
They have stepped it up to another level in this game, and they are just...
Oh my god, Vici. Surrender again. 22 minutes in, and LGD proving too strong. The game wasn't over, but Vici know that they still get to play in playoffs. But what a way to lose 3 games there from Vici. LGD, they won 3 times. They didn't win 3 in a row. But the 3 they won, it might as well have been. What a dominating performance on the win side.
Yeah, well, Vici were up creek without a paddle, coach.
Really deep down that creek as well.
It was so deep. There was no way for them to deal with it. I mean, forcing 3 surrenders in 3 victories is a statement more than anything else. Coming into their next game, what is against Invictus Gaming, I believe it is.
Yep.
Snake. It's against Snake. LGD taking on Snake next. You'd be a little bit worried if you were Snake. Every individual laner from this LGD team performed.
And the thumbs up there from PYL. Having some fun. There's here PYL Alster OP sign. Did get to play the alley, so
Pretty OP.
nice fans. Yeah, pretty OP. You can see again the Playmaking Champions Forum as the teams will shake hands. It's all smiles here. They know they're not eliminated, but LGD, again, they get to playoffs and they seem to ascend as Imp taps the shoulder of his old buddy. Might have said, "Did you have fun that game?"
I enjoyed it.
Acorn as well. It's nice to see the old Samsung members.
I really hope
still
you said
being
that's
good
how you
friends.
play Vayne.
That Imp would.
I know.
He would.
That's the best part.
As LGD take a bow. And the 2 carries, we kept saying it. The whole team played well. But Godby and Imp back on another level.
Yeah, they accelerated that game to just another echelon of performance. The carries of LGD look unbeatable.
They really do. And with that, we are going to close out this evening. The LPL is going to have a short break here. We're done for the night. We're not going to be on tomorrow, but join us Saturday at 3 p.m. local time as we continue our playoffs run. But for myself, Rusty, and our live production crew, we'll see you guys this weekend.